Welcome back to the Brew Crew Podcast, everyone. This is day 5 of the Advent calendar. It's 5 days already, man. Well, on one note, it hasn't been a full week, which is good because that means there's a lot of time left. But at the same time, it's already been 5 days. Man, I feel like it's going to be over. Every time we do this Advent calendar, I feel like I want to do one in the middle of the summer or something because it's just so much fun to do. It can get tedious. I don't have the same discipline and I don't have the same affinity for streaks that Matt does. Both, and this is a great actual segue here. I just thought of it. Streaks as in your underwear. That's one type of streak that Matt likes. He prefers the perennial streak, the long-term, in perpetuity, kind of, in his mind, I think, an infinite streak would be an ideal streak. But I don't have that same, I guess, I say affinity, but I don't have that same discipline. I like to, I don't even know why I'm going into all this, but, for those wondering, the differences between Matt and I are, I'm a very fly by the seat of your pants kind of guy. If you want to change the schedule, as long as I'm available, fine, I'm cool with that. I'll go, I don't want to give up time with my kids or with my wife. But if, otherwise, if I was already going to be doing something, I might as well change it up. And I think Matt has a lot of flexibility, but there's one thing that I think, if you can appreciate about him is that he's very schedule oriented. So with that mindset, he likes streaks, but he likes probably not. I can't speak for Matt. I would guess that the streaks, the physical streaks, the ones in your underwear, aren't the ones that he prefers because of the enjoyment he gets from his calendar. He likes the perennial streaks. And that's how we get to day 5 here with a perennial artisan ale. Look at that segue. Unbelievable. I came up with that. I had no intent of talking about those things today. When the morning comes. When the morning comes. I don't know what that means. Well, I do. Literally, it means when you wake up, or, when whatever your interpretation of the beginning of the morning, it has arrived. It does arrive. When I think of it, let's see. What do you think of? Why don't you hit the comments section? What do you think that means when the morning comes? Because technically, midnight is the switch from night to morning, or evening to morning. And so what? So that could be it. That could be the literal arrival, or it could be when dawn comes and the sun casts doesn't cast any. Yeah, I guess it does. It kind of projects its light onto the earth. Or you're part of the earth. It's always projecting its light onto the earth. If you think about it, just not you're part of the earth. And then, or it could mean when you wake up, the morning comes for you as an individual. So, interesting. What does that mean? I don't know. Who would know is probably Perennial Artisan Ales, and maybe if Matt was yeah, he did a website review. I can't remember. I was working and watching at the same time, so no offense to all the chuggalos. I do multitask when I watch a lot of these videos. I don't remember if he got to the name of this beer from the website. Yeah, so kudos to Matt for the website review. I saw him pull it up. He had Chuggalo Pete. Big Pete, man. Pete's cool. Pete's a good guy. They're all good. Everybody's good. I have really enjoyed these videos. Let's open this beer so that I can talk and drink. Perennial Artisan Ale when the morning comes. This is, as I'm the last to post today. It's a French saison.
The Saison.
Saison. I think that's how you pronounce it. Saison ale. 5.5%. Perennial artisan ale from St. Louis, Missouri. Here we go. Let's open this baby up. 3 to 1. Now, this will go into the tulip glass. And I was looking for a tulip glass for this beer because it's not a bottle. So, and yesterday we had a can, but I was at Phil's house. Today I'm by myself, so I was like, I'm going to get a tulip glass for this Saison as I balance my beer on my drum. A floor tom, for those who want to know. And I found this one in the cabinet. I didn't want to go out to the carriage house and grab it. The ones I know I have. I didn't even know I had this. 2022, nowhere in particular, cabinet of curiosities. This is an artifact. This is an artifact from history. This place doesn't exist anymore. But the bulb glass, that's where it goes. So you can capture all of that aroma and such, blah, blah, blah in this. I'm a huge fan of science, and I'm sure that there's scientific data to back up the claims that the bulb glass, the tulip glass, captures the aroma. But I'm personally I'm not convinced. But if I see the data, I'm a very data-driven person. If I see the data, I'll believe it. I'm not convinced in that science. I feel like that might come from the old days. So let's pour this beer. But it does, I mean, the aroma's there. I can smell this beer in the can. You know what captures the aroma? The can. You know, it's got that little tiny opening. You want to capture that aroma, you just leave it in the can. That was a terrible pour, but there it is. There's some of it. Now the real benefit. Let's talk about the real benefit of the bulbous glass, of this bulbous glass here. I think someone mentioned it. Maybe Gimmick Gus. He has the gilded barrel house tulip glass. That's sweet, man. I wish that I was frequenting Barrel House back when they had that thing. I would have bought the shit out of that glass. Here's the benefit. So he had mentioned that, I think forgive me if it was somebody else. You can warm the beer, and this is particularly beneficial for stouts. And I think maybe, I don't know, is that the point of stemware? I don't drink wine. I don't like wine. Maybe you want to warm it to get the aromas, but you don't want to warm up a Saison. You want to drink it cold. At least I do. And that's what the benefit here is. If if you go to the bar where beer is typically thought of as being drank, you would set your glass down, and you don't have to worry about it. You got a pint glass, you set it down. But if you're in a social setting, especially standing, you would be carrying your glass around, and the tulip glass allows you to hold it in a very pretentious way. Oh, look at me. But it does allow, if you're a fan of drinking cold beer like I am, to not warm up your beer. That's cool. I like that. I like that this is a multifunctional thing. So there's that. So we've gotten into a lot of things. I haven't even tasted the beer yet. It smells like a Saison. Typically, let me taste it. Yeah, that is. Boy. Saisons, they're kind of hit or miss. I think that there's some very experimental Saison brewers out there who would take this style and add adjuncts to it, fruit, whatever, blah blah blah, and make it. This beer can lean in a bunch of different directions, and I think that's what makes. Maybe that's why brewers choose to brew this beer. I personally, when I see a Saison on the menu, I'm like, why did they brew this beer? Why would you choose to brew that beer? I feel like the audience and the target consumer pool, the target consumer pool, can't be that large. Like, who's like, hey, let's go out and get some saisons, you know, like. But you know, as with every style, there's good ones and there's bad ones. And the thing about the saison is it leans in multiple directions. It can be very fruity and sort of lean towards like a farmhouse or a sour, a very light sour, bubbly sour, or it can lean towards more of that like European not well water, but that European kind of you know, whatever that is, that weird water taste. Very yeasty, malty kind of mixture there. And this one definitely, it is a French style, that's what they say, so it does lean towards the European style. But we've had some saisons that have been pretty fruity and delicious. They never reach a level where I'm particularly impressed. But unlike Pilsners, where I'm somewhat familiar with the idea that the Pilsner is hard to brew, it's a difficult beer, I'm not really familiar with the process of a saison, so maybe I should have looked that up before I started this. Well, gosh darn. We got 2 4s out of this from Better Matt and his neighbor. Are we drinking the same beer? I'm just not sure. Yeah, this is I wonder what Phil's gonna say about this beer. Dusty is the right word for it. I have chosen that word independently before. I can't say that it was 100% not top of mind because I watched Matt's video already. And in the first video that he shared, the first guest video that he shared, the first word she said was dusty. Yeah, dusty is the flavor I taste in these like European leaning beers. Now, I'll say maybe this is what I expect out of St. Louis. I love small cities. I think small cities are where it's at. I mean, I'm 12 minutes into this video already. Holy shit. I can't believe how long I've done this video for. I've just been talking this whole time. Did I black out? I don't remember being down here for even this long. Anyway, sorry guys, but hey, if you're still with me, I'll get to the point here. I love small cities. You send me to one of the small cities, Oklahoma City, Dayton, Salt Lake City. I love them. I find stuff to do, and I find reasons to brag about it. They're much easier to navigate than the large cities. In Chicago, I love Chicago, obviously, because I'm from there, and it is a great city. I think people would agree, all over the place. I think that even haters, sports-wise, could put their hate aside and enjoy the city of Chicago. But like New York City, Detroit, Atlanta, LA, these cities are somewhat difficult to navigate, and getting from to each landmark or to each site, it takes a lot of effort. You have to take public transportation, or you have to sit in traffic for a while, whatever. But in these smaller cities, they're great. I went to St. Louis, and I try to make St. Louis fun. And then, I don't know. You guys gotta go in the comments if you're big St. Louis fans and just tell me what to do. I did the arch. I saw the river. Loved the river. What else is there to do in St. Louis? I went to the brewery. I went to Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, and did that thing. Perennial Artisan Ales. I believe we've had good beer from them, so I can't say it's all bad. But if you were to ask me, how would you think that a St. Louis Saison would come through? And I'd say probably pretty dusty. So there you go. I've just come full circle now. Now, I actually did come prepared with a story to tell, but now that I'm 15 minutes into this video, I'm pretty sure I shouldn't tell it. But I'll save it for tomorrow. But it's interesting. Hopefully I'll remember by tomorrow. I don't remember any of my stories. Why is that? I don't even remember the ratings I've given the beers in this calendar. I think I have like short-term memory loss or something because I never remember the number of the episode we're on. Matt always has to remind me. And it's not like I didn't study. I was in the episode. I've said the name every week. I just don't remember it. It's so weird. And then the scores I give, I can't remember those either. But I'll give a score to forget. But hopefully this video will be memorable, at least for the time we spent together. The tulip glass. Did it? Look at those legs though. I mean, this was a clean glass. Clean the shit out of this glass. Look at that. I don't even think that's legs because it's not really staying in a line. I forget what they call that. You know, it's like the sheen or something. I think it starts with an S. There's a name for the goop that, you know, stays on the side of the glass. But you should see that. You should see that, those little foam bubbles. That means that you're drinking out of a clean glass. I mean, and I cleaned it. So if it wasn't happening, I was going to be pretty disappointed. I don't like this beer. I don't think it has staying power. I don't think it has character beyond that of a Saison. You're not basic. I'm not saying it's basic, but it has very little for me to return to. If I'm in St. Louis, I'm in one of two states. Well, you're always in Missouri, but I mean, personally, I'm either cold or hot. I'm only going to go in the summer or the dead of winter. Why? Because I don't know. Spring and fall, I'm doing stuff. I got shit to do. So if I'm like boiling hot from, you know, being on the Mississippi River and having the sun beating down, the Missouri sun, I don't want this beer. This beer won't taste good. It'll be quite bitter, and it would leave you feeling like you have no saliva left. If it's the dead of winter like it is now, then I can really taste the character, and I don't like the character. So those are my two options. I don't like either of them. But I'm not in St. Louis. I'm in Dayton, and I can still get Perennial because they distribute. This isn't a knock on the brewery. I'm pretty sure we've had good Perennial ales, like good ones. Maybe even fives. I don't know. Matt would know. But I'm not giving this beer that high of a score. I'm probably not going to give it a high score at all. I hate to give the same score as the other day, but this isn't a drain pour. It's not that bad. But I'm going to give it the highest score that I can give a beer I don't like, 2.5. That's my scale. It's not a drain pour. I think it's well executed. It's not my style, and I don't think that this beer really gives you much to come back to. Keep in mind that we've been reporting that craft beer is on a decline. Maybe some of that comes from the it's a two whatever they call it, two-sided sword or two-edged sword or whatever. You brew for diversity so that everyone's welcome and everyone has something they like, but at the same time you might be brewing stuff that people are like, that sucks, I don't like that. It's a hard balance. I'm not sure how brewers determine that, especially brewers who typically brew for themselves. They're staff-minded first, and then you wind up kind of, pushing the customer to a position of not liking your beer. But that's not what Perennial is doing. I'm not suggesting that. I can't for the life of me figure out why you'd brew this beer. I just don't think it's that good. But I'm sure that I'll watch the other reviews like Gus's and Stev's and be like, oh yeah, they love this fucking thing. Probably Phil's gonna like gush over it. 2.5. That's it. That's the calendar. I'm gonna talk for another 9 seconds or so. So this will be just under 20 minutes. And yeah. That's it. Bye.